Hello everybody. How we feeling? How do we recover from burnout and the world slipping into darkness? We try a new craft that I'll probably end up abandoning. The craft center of my brain is kind of, well, I would liken it to Smaug laying on treasure, except instead of treasure, it's just various different arts and crafts that I tried. Pile it all and I just lay on top of it. So let's add, hello, focus on my face, please. I'm telling you, when I wear glasses, man, it's like, who is this alien? So this time around, I've been seeing these videos on social media for a while from this amazing account that makes the most precious looking little animals wearing little human clothes. The process looks so satisfying. It's called Spun Cotton and it's essentially like paper mache but with itty bitty pieces of cotton. Apparently this is a craft that dates all the way back to the Victorian era. They made Christmas tree ornaments with this. Love of all of our collective lives, Savannah made a video about her process of doing it. I wanted to give it a try. But first, Nectar. Naturally, when starting a new craft, it is more than likely that I will be making a little guy. I was thinking of taking inspiration from Over the Garden Wall, because of course, the character that I want to make. So in this school episode, there's this little ragtag raccoon and he's the cutest thing ever. And so I kind of want to try my hand at making him. There is just something that makes me go instinctually feral about animals wearing tiny human clothes. He's gonna have his little body and then his little overalls. He's looking a little Mario right now, but I think that the different color scheme will help with that. It's like Mario if he just went full Tanuki. Maybe a teensy bit bigger than this. Normally when doing this kind of stuff, I would take the armature wire and wrap it with tin foil, but might be more beneficial for me to use cotton all the way through. Got my armature wire, which we will make his little skeleton out of. If I learned anything by making my little Jack from Return to Oz, probably should have just come out just a teensy bit more. It's that I'm horrible at proportions, so I'm just gonna have to be extra careful with that. And then cotton batting, which we will be using throughout. Ta-da! So that person takes the armature wire, wraps it in batting to build out the proportions, and then wraps that in white thread. Bought some PVA glue. I don't really quite know what that means. Ideal for bookbinding and paper projects. I don't really know the difference, but that's what that person says they use. So my average size monkey brain needs a direct reference proportions wise, or it will be an abomination. So you ready? I hope this is gonna be super cute and cozy, and if not, we'll have a hearty chuckle together. Sound good, team? Let's do it. At this point, he was looking a bit like he wanted to steal my M&Ms and look fabulous in drag, so I added a little bit more length to his legs. Then I just started wrapping the batting around and bulking it up in areas that needed to be bulked up. This was a little clumsy and chaotic, but thankfully the wool batting kind of sticks to itself. Also, good news being, if you wanted to do a Spun Cotton Michelin Man, you could skip a lot of steps. Uh-oh, the maternal instincts have already kicked in. I love him so much. He's a little bigger than I thought he would be. Y'all, I can't seem to make something that's small. I don't know, whenever I end up making something, it turns out bigger than expected. I think this is still gonna be fine. It's hard to tell if his proportions are correct. He's got a little tum-tum. And then I'm just gonna make his tail separate, just glue it on. But I guess that means that we can start giving this a try. Mix some of this PVA glue with water. If there's one thing about me, it's that I have the crafter's audacity to rival Michelangelo with the Sistine Chapel. You know, they came to him and he was like, yeah,
could have probably do that.
That's actual documented audio from Michelangelo himself. Okay, let's do it. I found the more saturated you made the cotton with glue, the more that it stuck, obviously, because it weighed it down and allowed you to shape it a little bit. Not as much control as you get with clay, but a surprising amount. And then if you need more volume or more details in certain areas, you just keep adding on to it. Behold my attempt at being a satisfying content creator. Best part about this process is peeling off the glue like I'm in 2nd grade. Don't judge me. Dun, 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 dun. Base done, I think. He's shaped like Oswald Cobblepot, and I love him so much. So I'm gonna let this do its thing and dry. I could, I think, go in with like a hair dryer, dry out the layers so I could keep going. That's what Savannah did and what Savannah suggested. I have other stuff to do today, so I'm just gonna let this sit. Overall, man, this is so easy. I was really intimidated by it, and I was afraid that there would be kind of a lack of control as opposed to making it out of clay. But I don't know, there's just something that is kind of very intuitive about it. Who knows? Maybe I will actually excavate this out of my smog pile and use this craft again. I'm gonna go finish peeling this off and going, ooh. See you tomorrow. Good morning, I am anxious. Let's make some clothes for my little guy. Dried mostly overnight. I went in with my heat gun a little bit and I added another layer to some spots. Ta-da! It's hard to tell here, but he is the color of pizza dough. I kind of want to eat him. I did hit that with my heat gun a little bit more and it's just like slightly damp now, so I think we can make some clothes. Fashion show. Yeah. Aw. It's you. How I've seen it done is kind of similar to needle felting. If you were to make like a flat piece with needle felting, you kind of just lay it out and then poke it all together, a blanket of sorts. I take that and then I'm gonna take my fan brush, dip it in the glue, brush over it like, oh God, very unsatisfying. A blanket of glue so that when I put this on, it'll kind of act like cloth. Put this on like a little blanket, a little high-waisted moment. Got some droopy britches, y'all. And then kind of fold this up. These are the moments that make you feel like that kid from that computer gif. He's got a little bit of diaper butt right now, but I think we can fix that with clothing, and also his tail. Eventually it's gonna go right here, so. The rest of him is still kind of lumpy bumpy, but I don't foresee it being a problem. I kind of like the texture of it. Speaking of lumpy bumpy, the reason I'm so anxious, Frodo recently had a concerning lump that I took him to the vet and opted to remove. Got that this past weekend, and we literally, I haven't left the house in 5 days. We watched him like a hawk to make sure that he wouldn't jump and ruin anything. And I thought things were going well, but we checked today and the little stinker busted one of his stitches. We emailed a photo to the vet to see if we have to actually bring him back in or not. And I am still waiting to hear back. And so I'm very anxious and I'm trying to distract myself. It's been a week, man, I tell you. Other than that though, he's good. Just a pain in my butt, that's all. Got a little saggy butt. My boy. Like fold it over so that there's that edge. Oh, that's cute. Whimsical as hell. Righto. Fingers, toes, ears, and hand. Not really sure how I'm gonna do the tiniest little phalanges ever. I guess I'm just gonna stick little bits on at a time and hope that I can have the precision to sculpt them that small. In fact, let's start with the hat and ears. It's kind of back to what I was doing before where I'm just gathering big chunks. Yes, good. I hate to say that he looks like a certain psychopath. Okay, let's cement this down. Looks like a poet. All right, let's do ears. She said confidently. Make it a triangle and then stick it to his head. Oh, that might be a little too big, actually. Stick it. Is that too big for a raccoon? I don't care. Don't even answer it. Oh. You know it's a cute project when I revert into Jennifer Coolidge. Oh, his little ears. I just want to eat him. Kind of looks like a little pig. It's okay. Much as you would expect, there is glue literally on every surface around me right now. My phone. To you, doing the teeny tiny little details was pretty difficult and required a very steady hand, which I do not have. I have the finger dexterity of a 104-year-old summoned to see footage of the Titanic. As if he didn't already look like he was delectably made of dough, it was time to make the tail, which ended up looking like a little crescent roll. This one was a bit harder to control the shape of because it's just such loose fabric, and it sort of looked like a certain intergalactic mob boss.
Bring me Solo and Kabuki.
Good morning. Last night we had a little family sleepover on the couch to make sure that this boy didn't rip his stitches by jumping off the bed. This little Bloopy, sir. Oh, handsome man. Oh, handsome man. I think we are just about ready to paint, which is going to be probably the funnest part of this. But first, how are we feeling? I've had just like a lingering sense of anxiety that I can't get rid of, regardless of how many Sims 4 speed building videos I watch. Together, collectively, can we just take a breath? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's get dressed and start painting. Gotta weasel my way out of this nest. Hold, please. Almost there. Okay. Okay, our little guy. I would ride into battle for him. And then I have his tail. I still need to glue this. While this is heavily influenced by the raccoon and Over the Garden Wall, I think I'm gonna do a different color scheme for his little overalls. I think I'm gonna make them either brown or green, but we'll see. So exciting. What one will she choose? But I am going to pull up a picture of raccoons. Oh, look. So it's kind of cool because his little overalls are like kind of squishy. I don't know, this whole thing is kind of bizarre. Also kind of satisfying. And I suppose that's the argument for clay versus this. Because if I were to make him out of clay, that would be number one, so much clay. This is very light. I would imagine very hard to break because it's just cotton, like, you know? And nothing gets broken, nothing gets squished. Take my palette that looks like literal throw up. Oh, that's a lot, okay. Oh yeah. I think a lot of people fear getting older, but me personally, Not only am I totally okay with my outsides becoming as withered and decrepit as my insides, or how I feel, I am so excited to be just an old crone making her little figurines and painting them, gathering a small army of just little guys. It's my retirement plan, I guess. Merry Christmas, Grandma got you another little guy. I am going to keep going with this, and because I feel like we all need a little break, I'm gonna do a satisfying little speed paint. Enjoy the lo-fi beats, my dudes. For the eyes, I tried a couple things that didn't work, so I decided just to glob them on very carefully with hot glue. This definitely isn't the most precise way to do it, but I didn't have any like tiny little doll eyes on hand. Just surprising, honestly. And with the final touches, let's see how he turned out. My dear viewers, may I present to you him. I feel like he is part of like a Newsies gang in New York City, but like secretly steals your change while you're listening to their spiel. And then he brings it to like their little trash gang hideout. And then he goes, yeah, see? That's just the vibes that I'm picking up. Another craft that I can take and fasten into my tool belt of life skills that are unnecessary, but I insist on teaching myself. I have thoughts. Are you focused on me? Thank you. This comes with pros and cons. The cons being it is very messy, sort of in the same way that paper mache is. This includes little fibrous hairs that stick to your fingers, your gluey fingers. Even like trying to dry him in between layers was, you know, you had to like every now and then. So if you don't like sticky fingers, maybe not the craft for you. But the pros, he is so lightweight. As I had mentioned, I could yeet him across this entire room and I don't think that he would break. It makes sense why Victorians use this for mostly Christmas tree ornaments, which is probably the perfect use case for this because hardy and lightweight, and it's not gonna weigh your branches down and it's not going to break, probably, if we put it in a box. I like the texture of it. It's very paper mache-esque, which makes sense because it kind of is just substituting paper for cotton. Lumpy bumpy, and I feel like it gives like a very folksy kind of look. I think this works well for figurines that are supposed to look like they have fur. Was surprised that I was able to do this sort of easily. Clothing wrinkles and like where it naturally folds is something I really struggle with, whether it be sculptures or drawing. But with this, if you make like a flat piece and put it on and kind of move it around, it folds itself and it looks a lot more convincing than if I were to sculpt this. Highly recommend. This was really cheap as well. I forget how much the batting was, but I think this comes in under $20. Let me know your thoughts on names for my little bandit, my little street youth newsy boy. That's about it. I felt like this week doing a cozy little craft. I just needed to sit down and make a little guy. It's a form of self-care. I have a lot more things planned until the end of the year to distract myself and hopefully distract you. Yeah. At some point, I would love to set up a charity thing, whether that be live stream or maybe an auction for some of the costumes I don't want. I think it would be fun to, as a community, raise money for organizations that truly are going to be in need of that. I love you whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every other Friday. And we have fun here. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! How do we recover from burnt out? No. It's so dark in here. Come on, sun!
Oh, it's toasty on my buns. Very nice. Yeah, I could probably do that. Yeah, I could probably do that.
No. Let me make sure this is recording in 4K, shall we?
What was it? No! Where are my glasses?
Hello? Did I just talk for 5 minutes and I wasn't recording?
Oh, heck.
That glass, when did I drop this lens? Or is it glue? Oh no, bro, that's glass. Whoops. I can't be trusted with any form of technology.